a mother's love, a son's future. Sophie sat by the window, staring out into the distance. The diagnosis had come like a thunderbolt, swift and brutal. 6 months, that was all she had left. 6 months to make sure that her 4-year-old son Lucas would be cared for, loved, and raised by someone who could give him the life she would no longer be able to. She had always been a fighter. She had raised Lucas on her own since he was just a baby, never once feeling sorry for herself. But now, as the weight of her illness pressed down on her, she realized she was facing a battle far beyond her control. Lucas deserved so much more than a mother who was slowly fading away. Her first step was to find the right family, a family she could trust with his future, the first family, wealth without warmth. Sophie's heart clenched as she visited the first family, the Donovans. Their house was massive, filled with luxury and polished surfaces, but the air felt cold. They were a rich, successful family, the kind Sophie knew could give Lucas every material thing he could ever want. But when Mrs. Donovan spoke to her with cold professionalism, and her husband hardly looked up from his papers, Sophie knew this wasn't the family she wanted for Lucas. There was no warmth here, no love that would grow with him. The rules were strict, the expectations high. Lucas was a free spirit, a boy who needed to run and play and explore, not be bound by unyielding rules. Sophie knew she couldn't leave him here. The second family, glamour and gaps. Next, Sophie met with Max and Daniel, a gay couple who worked in the entertainment industry. Their success was undeniable. They lived in a gorgeous, modern apartment and seemed to have everything anyone could want. But as they spoke, Sophie's unease grew. Their work in the entertainment world was demanding, and their hours unpredictable. She could see the constant tension in their eyes, the long nights and early mornings. They were kind, but Sophie knew that Lucas needed stability. He needed more than what they could offer. The world of glitz and glamour didn't leave space for a 4-year-old to grow and feel truly at home. Sophie left their apartment, her heart heavier than before. The third family, Amanda and Robert. It was after these failed meetings that Sophie came across the name of Amanda and Robert. They lived in a quiet village on the outskirts of town, in a small, cozy house with a bakery that filled the streets with the sweet scent of fresh bread every morning. It was simple, but there was something about it that spoke to Sophie's heart. She met them on a rainy afternoon, and as soon as she stepped into their warm kitchen, she felt something shift within her. Amanda was baking bread, her hands expertly kneading the dough, while Robert was sitting at the small wooden table, a cup of tea in his hands. There was a peacefulness here, a calm that made Sophie feel at ease in a way she hadn't in a long time. Amanda and Robert listened intently as Sophie spoke of her son, her eyes brimming with tears. They promised her that they would love Lucas like their own. They showed Sophie the small garden in their backyard, where Lucas could play and explore, and the little room next to the bakery that would be his own space. As they spoke, Sophie saw something in their eyes, a deep kindness, a tenderness that reassured her that Lucas would be cared for, loved, and protected. They had no idea how much their simple life meant to her. It was everything Lucas needed: stability, love, a safe environment where he could grow at his own pace. Sophie knew she had found the perfect family for him. Letting go, but not letting go. It broke her heart in ways she couldn't describe. The thought of not being there to watch Lucas grow up, to see him reach his milestones. She would never see his first day of school, never watch him graduate or get married. The pain of knowing she wouldn't be there to hold his hand through those moments was unbearable. But as she looked at Amanda and Robert, she felt a sense of peace. She knew she was leaving Lucas in the best hands possible. They were gentle, patient, and full of love. They had a home filled with laughter, and in their quiet village, they would give Lucas the stability and affection that Sophie had always wanted for him. Sophie looked at her son one last time that evening, his small hands wrapped around her finger as he sat on her lap. The thought of not being there for him was the hardest thing she had ever faced. But in her heart, Sophie knew she had made the right choice. Her son would grow up surrounded by love, joy, and the warmth of a family that would cherish him as their own. And that, in the end, was all a mother could ask for.